During the implementation of the project, you will need people with different skills and interests. It's better to look for such people in various communities with various backgrounds and different cultures. The more diverse your team, the more beneficial your project will be. At first, you might think that some communities' interests do not align with yours. However, try looking at it from another angle and think about how you can be useful to each other. Look at it from a mutual cooperation perspective. For example, it can be an exchange of information, resources, or knowledge, incorporating elements that another community is interested in seeing into your project, providing possibility for self-realization for members of another community in exchange for something useful to you. For example, if you are organizing an arts and music festival in the Plains and thinking about how to make a program more diverse, take a look at communities in Amesville, Albany, Chansey. Maybe you will find more interesting artists, musicians, and performers there. If you are building an area for sports, but have only found a triathlon club, you can invite them to build a bike rack for your facility. This way, you will take into account their needs and incorporate a new element into your project. It's important to understand that there are no competitors when it comes to community development. The most interesting projects are usually done cooperatively, combining seemingly incompatible interests. We will talk more in detail about community engagement in one of our later lessons. So you've made your team, developed the contents for each event, and then you suddenly realize you need a rare specialist. For example, a facilitator, a videographer, an artist, or an architect who can design a public space. You might need experts and specialists not only for participation, but for simple advice or feedback. First of all, figure out if your community has such experts. Ask your neighbors. Oftentimes, people with necessary skills live right next door. You might live your whole life not knowing that your neighbor is a professional athlete who can do a warm-up session before the start of your community marathon. You can also ask for support from the active community development organizations, someone who is already doing community projects, seminars, and lectures. You will find their contacts in our library section. Thanks to a good recommendation, you can get a hold of an expert with a good discount or even for free. And last but not least is agreements. Before we start our journey into project design, research, and implementation, it is important to agree within your team. Create an agreement between your team members. Discuss workload and responsibilities, communication channels and confidentiality, liability, and disputes. If you have this conversation and a signed agreement before you start any work on a project, you will avoid a lot of conflicts and will ease the tension for your team in the future. So, now you have your dream team, which you support and motivate. You have wonderful experts and partners that represent the diversity of your community. Now it is time to have a look at our practical guide. As we told you before, you will find there a summary of this lesson and a few practical tasks. Remember that you can join a group and chat for conversation with other Athens County Together participants. If you have questions and you need help, you are welcome to send us an email on Athens County Together. Good luck with the tasks and lesson 2.